All right, so we had a lot of doing this, didn't we? We did it all in DAX. Okay, so how would we go about doing it in M? Right, let's have some fun in M. All right, lads and lasses, welcome along. Weekend work 11, New York water towers. Last week, we did all this in DAX, didn't we? Right, but let's scan through and show how you would do it in M. Because remember, it's always more efficient if you can do it in your data model rather than doing it in your reporting layer. Right? And I did say, have a go, see if I'm going to show you the way you would have done it. Right? I've also had a look because I wasn't happy with the KPI. It just didn't look right. Okay, every water tower in New York that is used for drinking water, and this might be part of the issue, and I've had a look at some of these and some of the old ones, I have to believe there's issues with it, right? But it needs to be inspected every calendar year. Okay, so I've set up the metric now, new KPI. We'll go through how we build it in M, right? And we can then go through and see actually what that impact is. All right, here we are, Power BI desktop. If you're doing this with a production system, what you might want to do is create it next to it, and then look to migrate over. You kind of need to be a little bit aware. Get in the habit of doing things like this, and you'll find life is much simpler. But the main thing to say is you might decide to do this in your data flow. And this is, again, one of those use cases where you say, data flows are a real lifesaver. Because if you can move it into the data flow, there's less arguments for people to say, well, I'm going to rate it in DAX, man. I was doing DAX because I know better DAX than you do. Blah, 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 right? So, right? Stranger things have happened. So I'll tell you what, we'll leave this in side by side and we can then compare and contrast and see the old KPI with the new. How about that? So to start with, let's cut an hour, hit transform the data. So we're going transform the data, transform data. Right? And you can see I've got me buildings here. And of course, there's nout in it. Okay. What I need to do is I need to get me bin ID, so me building identification numbers, the last year that they were inspected, now not date, I've realized year is the right one, right? The last year and the maximum number of tanks that they've got. How do we do that? What's the right way to do it? Right? The easiest way to do it, right? Sometimes isn't the most intuitive, some might say, right? If we go to the general inspection, or to the inspection, sorry, and right click on it and choose to duplicate it, right? Because we're just going to duplicate this. You remember this is coming from your data flow, so I'm just going to duplicate it. I'm doing this for a particular reason. So we're basically going to build a connection to it. I'm going to right click on it and say I don't want to load this, so it's not going to pull another table into my data model. Okay, and now I've got that table of data. What I need to do, right, is I need to group the columns. Right, effectively, I'm kind of like pivoting it. Really, is what I'm doing. And this is why, this would be a great example to show you, So what I'm going to do is under transform, I've got group by. So I'm going to click group by. We want to group stuff by bin. I'm going to say I want to do an advanced one because I want multiple aggregations. So last year, it's going to be the maximum year. So it's going to be the max, and it's going to be of the reporting year. And then we'll add, and then we'll have tanks. And that's going to be the max of what tanks? Max tank number, yeah? Simple. Click OK. Right? That wasn't difficult, was it? So now I've got this built. Okay? What this means is I've got a unique list of building identification numbers with the maximum year we've got for the reporting and with the tanks, number of tanks that are at that site. So if I now come back to my buildings, and I choose from the home tab, come back to my buildings and choose from the home tab, merge queries. What I can now do is highlight the column for bins, choose this inspections to highlight bins, and then click OK. Okay, and this is now going to give me this table. It's kind of there. Yeah, see, right? Oh, let's expand it. Simple, isn't it? I'm going to untick, use the original column name, and I'm going to untick bins, And there we're gone, right? We've now got this column last year and tanks, right? The last year they were inspected and the tanks. Okay. The difficulty now is, well, we want the KPI, didn't we? Right. So we want, like, is it good? Is it due? Is it overdue? Right. So what can we do? How can we do that? Right. It's quite easy. But it's quite easy. It is easy, right? The issue that you've got, right, is it's not the most intuitive. So I'll tell you what, right? Let us start with doing it, right? And I'll take you through step by step what we're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose to add a column. So we're going to click add column, and it's going to be a custom column. Okay. And what I'll do is I will zoom in on the column because I can't do it any other way. Yeah. Right. And we're going to call this status. All right. So we're going to write an if statement, aren't we? It's going to be an if. You know, I want to know if. So big thing is if. Last year, IntelliSense is great for this, but watch out for the next bit. Right, is in this year, and this is this year. How do I find out this year in M? Okay, you can't do variables, you can't do stuff like this. You've got to kind of write it out longhand. Okay, and we'll start with getting today. So to get today in M, what you got to do is you got to write date time dot local now. Okay. Datetime.local now is today, okay? But that's going to be a full date time. So we don't want a full date time, do we? We want the date from that. So we want date.from open brackets. Okay, so we've got the date bit of today, now, right? Now, the date bit of it, right? But we don't want the date bit, do we? We just want the year. So we have to write date.year, open brackets. Okay. So now we've basically said, get me, or if the last inspection year was this year, right? So it's got a new line, then 1. Let's put it in as a number, 1, yeah? Oh, else if, okay. So I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to copy this, okay, because you can copy, can't you? We can copy. Control C, copy. You can right click and copy as well, right? And I'll paste, right? This time -1, then 0. And then we'll have the last else clause, else -1. Okay, tell you what, let me change these. Let's put in good. Let's put in good, due, and overdue. Just so it's just for clarity, okay? Because the other one we've got is 1 -1 now. Yeah, so we'll do this, okay? And what we now have, if we zoom back out, is we've got a nice column at the end now that's saying this is due, overdue, or great. Okay, fantastic, perfect, just what we wanted in it, right? So we'll hit this, home, close and apply, close and apply. Okay, we've now got new stuff in here that's going to work for you, right? This is better, people. This is what you want to switch to. Okay, so they got, well, I don't know how to switch. What do I need to do? Dead easy. Okay, we've gone through. We've got our chart here, right? We know the latitude, longitude hasn't changed. The state we've changed, and we've changed from towers to using tanks. Okay? Towers to tanks, right? So bring tanks in for the size, the status as the legend. So bring status in, right? And we can see straight away, okay? No big surprise, really, is it? That kind of very few places are good in terms of current, like this year. So we might, you probably want to use better language than good, inspected this year, inspected last year, overdue kind of thing, which is why we'll look to use numbers for KPIs, because if that changes or you've got multiple languages, we might have to do it in Spanish or in something else, like Geordie, yeah, like if you put numbers in, you can have different languages, and then you can do stuff like to switch between them using the DAX. See if you can figure that one out, right? So let us know what you think. Don't forget, like and subscribe down below. Leave us some comments. Let us know how you find it. Are you enjoying this? Are you keeping up with it? But most importantly, keep at it and keep having fun. Cheers. Ta-da.